Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulphur Blade. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my content, and welcome back to Heads Will Roll Reforged. In a Let's Play that I'm playing after the drop of the latest DLC, which is called... what the heck is it? It's Threads of Destiny. I think at this point I've chosen such a path that I'm not going to actually reach any of the new DLC stuff. However, we're going to continue on anyway, as maybe I will. Maybe maybe there's something along this path that's new that I don't know about. I'm starting to think that when I made the choice to not chase for loot after that battle, that was new. That was a new thing that happened in that sequence that wasn't there before. I decided not to chase. Had I chased, I think maybe it might have led me to something new. And I'm kind of, I guess, wishing I would have chased now. But, you know, all of this is new. I'm going through all of this for the first time, trying to figure out how to get to different parts of the story for the first time. Or, well, to get to the new DLC stuff for the first time. Heck, there's lots of non-DLC stuff I haven't accomplished yet. And in this particular example, there are 3 paths that I know of. I can split off and work for Canterbury's side by getting enlisted, and working with Roger and Canterbury to fight against the prince. Or there's working for some outlaws. A guy named Duncan, I think. To date, I've always avoided the working for Duncan. On a different attempt going along this path, I went and ended up getting drafted and working for Canterbury and Roger. Because I honestly thought I was going to get drafted and enlisted for the prince. I was completely shocked and taken off guard when I ended up getting drafted for the other side, for the bad guys. And then the other time I've done this particular route was the lamest ending of them all, where I chose not to get drafted, and I chose not to go work for Duncan and the outlaws, and I ended up just basically retiring, and that was the end of the game. It ended right there at the end of this chapter. It was like the shortest and quickest ending I had ever reached and it's only one of the 2 endings that I've ever gotten to in this game. To tell you the difficulty of this game is difficult, and trying to reach any ending is quite the challenge. Except for this particular ending that's kind of lame, where if you don't work with Duncan and you don't go get enlisted, ended up working for Roger and Canterbury, then you just retire. And I'm not planning to just retire. But I'm hoping there might be a different option that shows itself in this particular run. We'll see. Anyway, let's jump in and get our debt paid off. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sell some stuff. We're gonna equip that. We're gonna go to crafting. I'm gonna throw this satellite up here, and I'm gonna throw this face protection on it, and we're gonna craft it. Cost 160 and 25, so that's $185 worth of stuff, and it becomes something worth 218. So we make it more valuable that way. We're going to sell this to try to generate some coin. The bassinet. We're going to go with the padded chainmail here. Get rid of that. The bag. The trigger mechanism. The gauntlets. I'm gonna sell the poison. The axe. I think I'm gonna keep everything else. I'm almost up to $1,000, which I'll be able to pay off my debt with this, providing any strange story activities don't happen. Hear rumors that a wealthy Maidstone merchant is looking for a fencing coach for his young son. The job promises to be both quite cushy and very well paid, so there are guarantees to be plenty of people who want to get it, which means that a good first impression, which is known to depend on the appearance, may well be the key to success or failure. New quest added: personal trainer. You visit the merchant's house, offer him your services as a fencing coach for his son. Your appearance makes a good impression and favorably distinguish you from other applicants. Prestige check passed. When the merchant, on top of that, finds out that you are also a veteran of the French campaign, he immediately makes the final choice in your favor. As expected, the job indeed turns out to be quite easy and not tedious, while the payment is extremely solid. Time lost 2, 150 florins received. EXP for completing the quest plus 20. Do I have a civic talent yet? No. Okay, so taking civic talent points at character generation is much more... It used to be that you didn't take civic talents at character generation because you got a civic talent at the end of every act. Well, now you don't get civic talents at the end of every act. You get them whenever you get enough XP to unlock one. And evidently the XP is nowhere near as often as getting a point at the end of every act was. Usually by this point in time, I would have had, I don't know, 8 talents easily at this point. And now I'm only at 4. This is the least amount of talents I've ever had at this point. And I took some of these really thinking that I would get a lot of this stuff earlier, but I didn't. Wow, I never saw that one before. Woodsman does not consume time and recovers 50% of max fatigue. That's really good. Acrobat. I don't remember Acrobat. Every third time you train coordination, you would also receive an additional point in agility. Increases your coordination and agility by 1. Every third time you train strength, you would lose 1 point of agility. Grants 1 guaranteed dodge in combat. So this is like Colossus, except in the reverse. I'm thinking that if you generate a character that's got really high strength, like 30 strength and 30 agility, and take this Colossus and this Acrobat skill, then you would simply just train coordination and train vitality and never touch strength and agility. And you could drive up strength and agility by training those two and never get the drawbacks of these two perks. That sounds to me like something I want to try with my next character. Anyway, let's move on. Where was I? Looking for jobs, probably. Having found out about your military experience, one of the local farmers requests you to protect his cattle, which are regularly attacked by wolves. Although the farmer promises quite modest reward, the job itself also appears to be not the most dangerous, since chasing wolves through the forest is not even close to storming Cambrai. I will agree. One thing I do want to check is, am I tired? No, I'm not tired. Okay. When you arrive at the farmer's plot, you arrange with his shepherd that if wolves appear, he will give you a signal with his horn. After about an hour waiting, the sound of the shepherd's horn is heard in the area and you come to the rescue. Time to... I still have a concussion. Alright, it's time to murder some wolves. Hopefully body hits will one-shot these guys. No, but I did cause bleeding. Of course I failed to recover. Down he goes. Alright, we'll probably go after that one. as well hit the neck. So in this particular fight, if you do too much resting, and you don't kill all the wolves fast enough, you'll get a partial reward and partial payment. So it behooves you to make sure you're rather well, that you don't slack too much. Like when I fight, I like to use a lot of respites to make sure I'm fresh. And in this particular fight, you might not want to do that. Okay. I'm purposely not targeting this wolf to let him be tired and taking out the fresh wolf each time. Okay, I think this is the last wolf then. I do want to try to get an opportunity to hit some respite. One more respite, and then I'll finish it off. Having dealt with the wolves, you get a well-deserved reward from the farmer. 50 florins received. EXP for completing the quest plus 20. Did I open up I've opened up a civic talent. Acrobat's interesting, but it's a little late, I think, in the game to be picking up Acrobat. Woodsman is interesting as well, but it's a little late in the game to be picking that up as well. As scavenging when you're in England is a bad thing to do, because whenever you end up going to scavenge, 9 times out of 10 you get hit with you were trespassing in the King's Woods and all your stuff gets confiscated or you get fined or some BS of that nature. So this is probably not a good one for me at this stage of things. Haggler. Allows you to sell items for an increased price. That's interesting. This, I'm gonna go with do it yourself, because I sold my sewing kit. Now I don't have to have a sewing kit in order to craft stuff. That basically makes it so I have a crafting kit for everything without needing to have a crafting kit, which means I have unlocked a new item I can sell, which is my alchemist tools. I no longer need those. So I've freed up an inventory space. I'm going to get rid of these wolf teeth necklaces as well. Back. Your untreated injuries make themselves known. I found out you regularly peddle various goods without a license. The authorities require you to immediately purchase a license as well as pay a fine, and total payment 211 florins. I hate this event. If you're going to charge me for not having a license, then give me the option to buy the flipping license, so I don't have to deal with this event. But there is no... This is just the game wanting to take your money from you. Because before that, before this just took my money, I was good to go. Now I'm not good to go. Now I'm down to 1,000 money. So I have a debt of 600 and a rent payment of 9. Actually, I'm still good to go. But still, I don't like that event. Alright, I'm gonna craft that leather into something that's more useful. Oh, and I need to go to the physician to get rid of this concussion. And I lost endurance. Just as you rent the house, practically the next day a representative of the town authorities appears on your doorstep accompanied by armed guards. He requires you to pay the single Maidstone town tax in the amount of 33 florins. 33 florins lost. Well, at least he didn't take my weapon and armor. That's usually what happened whenever somebody showed up at my door before. When I didn't have good virtue. Alright, what was I doing? I was resting. One evening, just as you return from a hard day's work, you are met with an unpleasant surprise at home. An unpleasant surprise in the form of 2 uninvited guests who somehow got inside the house, and without any secrecy settled right at the dining table. You reach for your weapon as you see them, but the strangers show no hostility. Put the weapon down, lad. If we wanted to kill you, you'd be dead by now. And look how deftly he grabbed his weapon, eh? What a little rascal. You can instantly tell he's a seasoned soldier. Duncan was right, of course. Any real soldier is worth a dozen peasants. Who are you, and what the hell are you doing in my house? Calm down, friend. My name is Jonas, and you can trust me. Really? I don't trust two people that break into my house. This is my friend Rodolfo, and we are here to make you an extremely advantageous offer. So spare us a few minutes. I'm going to hear them out because I really don't want to go work for Canterbury. I feel like I'm working for the bad guy. On the side of the war, I don't want to be on the side of the war of. I'd rather work for these criminals. And that's exactly what I think these guys are criminals. But I'm role-playing a very virtuous person here. And I have no virtuous path. I either have to work for Canterbury, which is not virtuous, or I have to work for criminals, which is not virtuous. I am stuck without a virtuous path, so I am going to roleplay this as my virtuousness has decided that these criminals are right, and we'll hear them out. Tell me what you came here, and then get out of my house. Straight to business, huh? I like that. So listen up. As far as I understand, you've returned to these parts just recently, so it's worth bringing you up to speed a little. Tell him what's what, Rodolfo. Rodolfo, who is clearly waiting for his turn to open his mouth, begins to speak passionately. The common people have lived for centuries under the heel of kings and lords who, like ghouls, suck the blood of simple laborers such as you and me. Realizing their impunity, they skin 3 hides off anyone their clawed paws can reach. They take the last from the people. The unfortunate villagers are forced to work hard in the fields of the feudal lords, leaving their own families hungry. Anyone who wants to get their own piece of land has to pay an exorbitant rent, which will bankrupt you long before you can earn even a florin from the rented plot. There are ruinous taxes on everything. Do you want to hunt in the Lord's forest? Go fishing in his lake? Or even hell, drive a cart on the road that runs through his property. Pay, pay, pay for everything, and pay always. Pay until you give it all to the last florin, and when you've given the last of it away, go straight into the jaws of the loan sharks, who will intoxicate you with sweet talk and then slip a credit garrote around your neck. If you take a florin from there, they'll return them 10, and if you can't, you'll hand them first to the mayor and the cart, and then the house. Your family will be thrown out on the street in front of you, your wife will be turned into a whore, and your children into beggars, and you will be put in a pit to be eaten by worms. This is the life the king and his barons offer us, all of us, including you personally. We've made inquiries about you, lad. You seem to have just arrived here, yet your name has already appeared in the ledgers of the local moneylenders guild. And there's a amount written in red ink next to it. It's not much yet, but there's more to come. We offer you a way out. Duncan offers you a way out. And who exactly is this Duncan? Duncan is the man who knows what to do. No one knows where he came from. It doesn't really matter. A few months ago, he rebelled against the old Count Caldwell and his ghoul daughter. He fights against exorbitant taxes, against dishonorable laws, against the bondage into which the honest working man is forced by the gold-clad greasy barons. While judging by the fact that you two have to personally go and negotiate with every potential supporter, things must not be going well for the rebellion, am I right? No, you are not. Duncan has hundreds, thousands of supporters. You can't fool people. They see who he is, and they see what he's willing to do for them, and they return the favor. Then what do you need me for? Hard workers respect and love Duncan. They are ready to hide him in their basements from the guards, to give him the last piece of bread or a shirt, but not many people are ready to go into the field against the armored cavalry. And among those who would dare to make a stand, God willing, only a half would know which end of the spear to point at the enemy. Peasants are not warriors, unlike you and me. I participated in the campaign against the Welsh rebels. Jonas fought in Scotland many years ago, but Duncan doesn't have many people like us yet. It doesn't take much for guerrilla warfare in the forest or robberies of the rich on the roads, followed by the distribution of their goods to the underprivileged, but that's not what Duncan wants to do. He wants to end tyranny, and that requires real soldiers who have experience in real wars. We offer you to take up arms again, but this time for a just cause. Not for land and titles, for earls and princes, but for the future of your own children. If you agree, your problems with the moneylanders will be solved today, and your family will always have some food on the table. I'll see to it personally. So I don't buy any of that bullshit, but my naive, overly virtuous character has bought into it and believes that this is indeed a virtuous cause, because it's the only path I have to take that's not Canterbury. So I'm going to pretend this is a virtuous cause. I agree. I'm intrigued. If this Duncan is at least half as good as you describe him, he's clearly someone you can risk your life for. I'm ready to join you. I'm glad to hear that. We're on the verge of great things, my friend. Gather your things and get ready. I'll send people for when the time comes. Uh-huh. Damn it. I was worried that would take strength. Mysterious Duncan doesn't keep you waiting long. A few days later, Rodolfo again secretly visits you at night, and this time you leave your house with him. Once out of town, you take a short break on a hill, just in time to enjoy the sight of the flaming building of the Maidstone Moneylenders Guild. Jonas is a scoundrel, of course, but he knows his business. Rodolfo sneers, and you continue on your way. Yeah, very virtuous. Burn down the moneylender I owe money to instead of just paying him back. You spend the whole night on the road, and by morning arrive at a well-equipped forest camp where you expect to finally see Duncan firsthand. However, events unfold differently. After bringing you to the place, Rodolfo informs you that the next step will be a test of your skills and loyalty, and only if it is passed successfully you will have a personal meeting with the rebel leader. After you answer in the affirmative, Rodolfo introduces you to the details of the business at hand. The next morning you are to take part in an ambush on a night among the men of Count Caldwell, Lord of the Greenwich Manor and Duncan's sworn enemy. The old Count, as well as his young sadistic daughter, are well known throughout the area for their cruelty both to the rebels, whom they eradicate without pity, and to their own peasants, whom they hold in a tight grip and force to pay through the nose. Considering, according to Rodolfo, what kind of people they are, there is no reason to pity them, or those on their payroll who earn their bread by taking it from others. The next morning, you, with a group of about a dozen well-armed rebels, ambush a road at the edge of the forest. Look, I'm here with Peasant Sam. I have a feeling Sam's not going to last very long in this fight. Alright, let's take a look at who these guys are here. I've got a heater shield, a reversed edge falcon, a demi-cuirass. That should leave his limbs very exposed. No poison or anything. His weapon skill is not very good. And this guy, again, doesn't have very good weapon skill. He does have a crossbow with decent crossbow skill. Okay, he's the threat. Wait. Did I pick the right person? Attack, second man-at-arms, overhead strike. Limbs, or go for the gusto with the neck. I think we go with the limbs because there's a better chance that I'm going to avoid the shield with the limbs. And if I happen to, I don't know, provide an arm injury, then his crossbow skills goes to crap. Bleeding, no injury. Alright, we're going to go for the limbs again, as that's where his weakest armor is. I'm guaranteed to hit, well, provided he doesn't block me with the shield. And I think I'll do enough damage to get rid of him, provided he doesn't block me with the shield. And he blocked me with the shield. Peasant Sam isn't going to walk away from this battle, I don't think. Yeah, Peasant Sam's down. Alright, again, all for the same reasons, the limbs. Thank you, armor. So obviously he's the new threat. And thankfully the new threat doesn't have a shield. A new threat has a poisoned weapon that he's not going to hit me with, so that's not that big of a deal. That crossbow is somewhat scary. His limbs are going to be his weakness. We've got an open neck. A 60% chance of one-shotting him right here now. Or 100% chance of basically two-shotting him. I think we play conservative. Two-shot. I broke his leg, huh? Ah, son of a... Crossbows. I hate crossbows. And now I've got a good shot on the neck. Well, might as well do it. Off with his head. Oh, no, 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 you're kidding. Alright, have weak neck, please? No. He hasn't reloaded the crossbow yet, has he? I don't think he has, so I'm going to do a respite. And I'm going to respite again. And again. Okay, I'm back to fresh. He reloaded the crossbow. To the limbs. Alright, this guy's all alone and he's tired. He's been swinging at me and swinging at me. Now he's trying to shield bash. I'm winded though. I'm gonna get myself fresh before I take him out. I'm gonna get myself very fresh before I take him out. I think he's gonna swing one more time. So I'm gonna go another respite, and if he swings, he's gonna be in a terrible position. Now he recovered. Of course he did. Okay, well, it is what it is. Now we attack him. We're gonna go for the one shot on the neck. Blocked with shield. And I'm going to respite again. Completely fresh. And now, hopefully, I will take him out. He's gone. What? Another character appeared. Who is this guy? 22 weapon skill? Son of a... He managed to hit me because of that shield bash. And his high weapon skill. And I failed a recovery? Come on. It's a buckler. Now we're gonna go for the limbs. Got him. The wounded and exhausted knight slumps to the ground, dropping an inert sate from his hand and submitting his head to the killing blow. Take a good look at him, James. This is who we're dealing with. All these creatures can do is slaughter unarmed and defenseless peasants. As soon as they are confronted by someone capable of fighting back, their entire feigned formidability crumbles like a sandcastle. Having almost lost your head in a few minutes earlier from the swings of the knight's sword, you can't quite completely agree with these words. However, you prefer to keep your thoughts to yourself. Rodolfo meanwhile leans over to the bleeding knight and rips a jeweled chain from his neck. Nice bling. How did you get it, pal? By beating the last florins out of a debtor? Or maybe old man Caldwell gave it to you to his chain dog for faithful service. Rodolfo tosses the chain aside squeamishly. The remnants of life are rapidly leaving the knight's body, trickling out in streams of blood through his many wounds, but he can still speak through it. It's barely audible. It's a gift from Count Canterbury. From Canterbury? Ugh. Okay. For bravery in the Scottish campaigns. The knight's light blue eyes stare unblinkingly into Rodolfo's face, who responds in kind, piercing the knight with a look full of disgust. For bravery, of course. How did I not guess that right away? Kill him, James. May he go to hell. You raise your weapon over the knight's head, but you can't bring yourself to make the last move. I can't kill him. He's unarmed. Now it's not the time for moralizing, James. We have no other way. I will not kill him. I'm willing to fight, but not with the unarmed. He won't last long anyway. At that moment, a figure that appeared from somewhere behind you, with a single slash of his blade, deftly cuts off the knight's head which to the cheers of everyone nearby rolls into a nearby ravine. We are not noble warriors, James. We are ragamuffins hiding in the woods and living half-starved. We do not serve the lords and do not receive a weighty purse of florins for our service. We protect the destitute and the downtrodden who pay us with a piece of stale bread and a prayer because that's all they have. Because the rest is taken away from them by nights like these. Noble lads, hung with chains for bravery, who by an unfortunate coincidence simply serve an evil master. Each of them has 1,000 excuses for what they are doing, and each of them may well turn out to be a really good person, a kind guy who just happened to be on the wrong side of the fence. But it's their choice. They have made it themselves. And you, James, have made yours. So it's time to get used to it. Chapter 5, David and Goliath, outskirts of Greenwich, England. Having successfully passed Duncan's test, you settle in the forest camp with the rest of his squad. Life in the camp is not much different from that led by the soldiers of the Royal Army under the walls of Dunkirk or Cambrai. In many ways, it is even less organized. For example, there are no healers among Duncan's people, so anyone suffering from illness or disease is left to fend for themselves. This list of disappointments is supplemented by the missing salary, payments, as well as remarkably disgusting food. However, you, like everyone else, did not come here for money, delicious food, and a comfortable life, so there was not much to complain about. With these thoughts in mind, you enter the new part of your life. Well, is there anything I can do to cure and heal some of these people? I have a little bit of knowledge in making your love for... Of course I did. Camp activities. What about... How do I get rid of the toxicity of my character if I don't have a doctor? Problems, indeed. Duncan, Rodolfo, and Jones. I'm not sure what to do here. Crafting. DIY crafts? What is this? What is numbing retinue? Reduces toxicity to 0. Does normal antidote reduce toxicity? By 10. Okay, how toxic am I? Where can I see that here? Alright, was that enough? It's not saying so, is it? What do I need to make the next level? Medicine, canteen, and wine. Medicine, canteen, wine. Got 2, nice. It's gone. Good. Well, I guess I should introduce myself to these people and see what they're about. Oh, James, I was just looking for you. As it turns out, you're a hell of a warrior, aren't you? Yeah? Kicked the ass out of that knight in the woods in a heartbeat. I was quite a fighter myself back when I was young, but lately I've shifted, so to speak, to administrative positions, and my form has dropped off. You don't say. Anyway, what was I coming to? It would be nice if you could train the young guys. We have a lot of recruits, but they're mostly former peasants and laborers. Well, I've told you already. The lads have strength, but they're a bit lacking in technique. You should work with them a little so they can wield swords and axes better. We're all in this together. After all, new quest added Drill Master. Offer your help. Ask about a healer. I noticed there's no healer in the camp. Really, you're a big-eyed guy, aren't you? I'll tell you from experience, Jones, going to war without medical care is a bad idea. It's strange to me that none of you have thought about it. Don't think you're the smartest kid. We've thought about it, and not once. But here, as you can see, we do not have a royal army with a monthly budget of 1,000,000 florins. Instead, we've got a do-it-yourself type of army, so to speak. I have a good healer in mind, and he's even somewhat sympathetic to our cause. However, he's a family man, and he wants to sleep on a feather bed with a juicy wife, just a little more than to huddle in a dugout with some stinking Rodolpha. I don't understand what your point is. My point is that he's willing to visit us occasionally and provide services, but he would like to be compensated for his labors. And we're a little tight on money, you know. So since you yourself raised the issue of healer, it would be logical, so to speak, to delegate the matter to you. And how much money is needed? He's a good specialist, so he won't work for nothing. I think 300 florins should be enough. Although, let's make it 400 just to be sure. You never know what other expenses might appear then. Hand over money for the healer. Is there anything else I can do to help the squad? Did you embrace our idea? Nice to hear. I think you can see for yourself that our situation is just a little bit dire. Guys freeze from the cold at night, live half-starved, and have to go into battle on whatever is at hand. Duncan and I will somehow deal with the first two issues on our own, but we could really use some help with the third one. What is required of me? Even St. Augustine used to say that there is no ailment that cannot be cured with gold. You know what I mean. Did he really say that? Well, it might not be an exact quote, but I got the gist of it right. So if you suddenly got a couple extra florins in your pocket, then we, your new and forever faithful brothers-in-arms, are ready to accept them. Every last copper will be spent to equip the guys. You can take my word for it. New quest added, arming the rebellion. Oi, he wants money. Everybody wants money here. You're not getting my money. Okay, let's talk to the next dude. Wait, what was this? Train Duncan's men? Hello, James. About what you did back there in the woods. I understand that honor is not an empty word to you, but there's no place for nobility in our business. House Caldwell and all who serve it are sworn enemies of the common people and all those who protect them. A night in the forest, the one who fell into our ambush. It's still bugging you, isn't it? Don't fill your head with nonsense, James. Even if he wasn't lying, all his valor and honor remained in his previous life, before he became a butcher in the service of the Caldwells. How does that fashionable nowadays saying go? You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. He should have died in Scotland. Or have I lived long enough to see myself, I've just become the villain? Or wherever he was awarded for bravery. What's there to tell? Lords all over the kingdom feed on the blood of poor peasants and laborers, but the Caldwells would give any of them a head start. Travel to Greenwich and the surrounding areas and talk to the people. Ask them about the exorbitant tolls and taxes, the arbitrariness of Caldwell's knights and soldiers. Ask about the gallows standing in the square, and about people dying of hunger who were robbed of everything they had. In recent months, Duncan has notably rattled them with his raids around Greenwich, so much so that now old Caldwell is probably wetting his pants with fear of the mere mention of Duncan's name, and his sadistic daughter huddles under the bed in terror. However, the Caldwell estate itself is too well fortified for us to capture. You need trebuchets and battering rams here, and we have, as they say, only pitchforks and peasants. Oh well, Duncan's surely got some kind of plan. He always knows what to do. And what am I offering my help for? Help. That would be really nice. I have a couple of other ex-soldiers in mind who wouldn't mind joining the squad. One of them, moreover, was an apprentice to a siege engineer, and thus understands something about all kinds of machines, at least according to his own words. Either way, both of them would be extremely helpful, but there are issues with both. The first one, who's an apprentice, has a sick brother, so if he goes into the woods, the family would be left without a breadwinner. Surely it could be helped with some strong medication, but I'm not good at that, for one thing. And secondly, there is not much money for this either. We barely have enough to feed ourselves. Anyway, if there's anything you can do to help, it would be very useful. And well, the other one, who's an infantryman, has drunk all his equipment away since he came back from the war. I told him right away that I'd have no trouble getting him a gambeson or some kind, but the bastard is stubborn and says he won't go to war without proper armor. He had some story about being hit with a bow several times, and only a gorget with a helmet saved him, and he can't let this subject go ever since. Though probably for a good reason, if it all really saved his life. In short, we need to get him some kind of helmet and a gorget, preferably a decent one. It would be great if you could help us out. Consider that you have done 2 good deeds at once. Return the breadwinner to his family and got another fighter for our squad. Thank you, James. Thanks to people like you and Duncan that the common people are drawn to us. Helmet and gorget, huh? I'm not sure I have anything like that. And I'm not sure how you consider me, how you think I'm gonna get that. Alright, and then Duncan. Hello, James. Our first meeting was a little spontaneous, so I think we have some catching up to do. I won't bore you with long stories about who I am and what I'm doing. Since you are here, you know all that already. We are on the verge of great achievements, James. I've been fighting for a number of years now, and most of that time I was a tiny David who tried to overcome a huge Goliath with needle pricks. I had dogs sicked on me, was whipped, arrested, and tortured. I hid in basements and forests, lived half-starved, and slept on the cold ground. I gathered supporters one by one, saved up resources bit by bit. For years, I was forced to watch the suffering of innocent people helplessly and be content with the small raids against their oppressors. I've been waiting for the right moment for a long while, and now the time has come. Now we will strike. Get ready, James. We'll move out soon. New quest added, Fall of the House of Caldwell. Okay. Greenwich, Dartford. Can I click on these? No. I can evidently scavenge, which I suppose I will do. You get out of the camp and go to the surrounding forest to replenish supplies, heading towards the unknown adventure lying ahead. Wandering around the countryside, you encounter a wandering merchant selling all kinds of potions and elixirs. The merchant is clearly desperate to sell his wares, going as far as to boasting about their potent effects. As he sifts through his flasks, he prattles on incessantly, making grandiose promises of everlasting life, extraordinary health, luck of the devil, and invincibility in battle. Among the things he has for sale are dragon's blood, which doubles the health of anyone who takes a sip; tears of the phoenix, which heals all injuries, wounds, diseases known to man; witch's brew, which brings the dead back to life; essence of luck, which guarantees eternal fortune in all endeavors those who consume it; and finally, a potion of eternal life, which grants immortality. The merchant himself does not look trustworthy one bit, but his promises are indeed alluring. He's full of shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy anything, sorry. Buying stuff from sleazy characters does not seem to be a wise decision, so you decline his offer and continue on your way. Alright, healing herbs. Black cloth. Leather. Healing herbs. On the way home, you decide to explore a new place, deviating just a little from the familiar road. The decision, however, turns out to not be very wise, because after about half an hour you realize that you are lost and have no idea where you are and where to go. The only option you have in this case is just to keep going in any direction, as at least you are going somewhere. After about an hour of wandering, you stumble upon a small village. Locals there turn out to be friendly, perhaps even too friendly. You are welcomed as their dear guest and forced to taste the rustic hospitality in full, despite all your requests to just help with directions. They sure did show you the road back, but only after the bathhouse, as well as a good feast with all sorts of goodies, drinking, and singing. All this greatly benefits your health, though you do end up spending quite some time. Vitality increased by 1, time lost 3. The rest of your way back goes smoothly without any more adventure. One day you strike up a conversation with a group of neighboring peasants who periodically deliver supplies to your camp. Thanking you and Duncan for the fight you are waging, they share with you information about a fair that regularly takes place at Linsfarn Abbey nearby, and where you can buy many useful things. Virtue, success. Linsfarn. Visit the fair. Wandering backpack, smoking pipe, 4-leaf clover, snake's poison, strong ale, wine, medical treatise, recipe book, Oliphant, alchemist apron. What are some of these things? Trinket. Wine bottle might come in useful for manufacturing something. Otherwise, nothing here is all that great. Only one leather? Yeah, only one leather. Okay, there's a canteen, a healing herb. Right, let's see what this training of Duncan's men is all about. You spend some time training, allied training quality 2/100. 4/100. Am I gonna give money to any of these fools? We'll give 100 florins. Am I missing something here? I was expecting something more to happen. I suppose I will go pray. The specified hour, the camp is set in motion. All those able to hold arms are equipped and divided into small detachments under the command of Rodolfo Jones and other field commanders. After making sure that everyone is gathered and assigned to squads, Duncan addresses his people with a speech. Friends, we have waited a long time for this day, and now it's finally here. Today we are not taking up arms to give our enemies another painful but not lethal scratch. Today we take up arms to strike the enemy in the heart. Tonight the history of the Caldwell house will finally come to an end. Those of you who have been with me for a long time know how much innocent blood this cursed family has spilled. They know how many times I swore to end them and how many times I failed. Today I'm finally ready to fulfill my promise. But the success will depend on you. Remember what brought you here, and don't pity the enemies because they won't pity you. Perfectly fortified, it seems like a completely invulnerable target that would require at least a small army with a couple of siege machines to capture. What exactly Duncan is counting on is unclear. However, he acts confidently, and leaving most of his men behind in hiding without hesitation moves out with a small detachment straight to a small side entrance in one of the towers and simply knocks, tapping out some secret combination. To your infinite surprise, the door swings open. There are two twitchy-looking men behind it who exchange a few words with Duncan, and after receiving a jingling pouch from his hands, makes a swift retreat toward the nearest grove. They kindly leave the door open. The defense of the Caldwell estate appears to be breached without a single drop of blood spilled. Following Duncan's command, you swiftly make your way inside and attempt to break through the main gate, the opening of which will let the bulk of the squad inside. Alright, what are we dealing with here? Weapon skill 14, no poison. Fairly well armored. Weapon skill 10 and a crossbow with a crossbow skill of 10. Let's hope we hit the neck. Got him. Crossbow, as well as poison. The neck has some armor. We're gonna go for it anyway. Locked with shield. Damn it. Got him. Who'd he hit? Hit me. How nice of him. Knocked down, stunned. Good job, bro. You're still alive, and you did something useful. That's incredible. Alright. Armor, armor, armor. All kinds of armor on this guy. I guess we gotta hack at him the hard way. Yep. It was nice fighting with you. Take a respite. I need to get fresh. Which probably is going to lead to this guy dying. Somebody reloaded his crossbow. How about you guys stop showing up and let me fight? You're just getting yourself killed. Off with your head. Damn it, he blocked with the shield. He's currently stunned. I don't normally attack when I'm down on stamina, but I might be able to just, yeah. know that's worth money. 125, 240. Grab the water skin. Is it possible to use something in my inventory right now? Do I have a medicine in here? Did I take any damage? I think I did a little bit, right? And then we'll grab this medicine to replace it. The defenders of the state who have not yet had time to figure out what is happening are unable to mount a proper defense, and you manage to capture the main gate without much difficulty. You open them and let the bulk of the squad inside. The fate of the defenders appear to be sealed, but they still attempt a desperate counterattack. This just looks so ridiculous. I'm fighting along Peasant Sam with heavily armored knights. Alright, weapon skill 21. Weapon skill 19. He's got a crossbow. And he's got good crossbow skill. This guy's dangerous. The neck is his weak spot. Just hope to get lucky. We got him! That was luck. Is nobody else showing up? Peasant Sam, I might be able to get you through this fight. Alright, this guy's heavily armored. How am I gonna approach this? Chop armor, but where? I think limbs. Blocked with shield, of course. Armor damaged. Nice. That wasn't me, I don't think. What armor was damaged? Torso armor? Yeah. Well, if the torso's already been damaged, let's give it a try. No more shield in the way. I'd like to get some fatigue back. Though Sam might end up getting killed because of it. Sorry, Sam. How damaged did you get? That's not very damaged, to be honest. 43 torso armor is still a lot of torso armor. I think we're better off chopping armor ourselves and maybe just going for the neck. Ooh, I'm tired. Sorry, Sam. I don't think you're gonna last very long. Not with your neck cut like that. Yeah, Sam's gone. Now Jim has showed up. Damn it. They're all trying to die. Helmet damaged, huh? Alright, it's time to kill him. Right through the neck. And of course we're gonna search. Nobleman's armor, heavy plate armor, look at that. Oh, look at the penalties it gives. Ugh. My inventory won't be full for very long. Yeah, I think we can get rid of a piece of cloth for some heavy plate. We'll get rid of this piece of cloth. And we'll get rid of the poison plant. Get the night axe is worth a little bit. The defender's counterattack fails, and just a quarter of an hour after the battle began, it's all over. After brutally dealing with the owners of the estate and stuffing several bags full of all kinds of goods, Duncan's men set it on fire. Thus the story of the Caldwell house ends, cut short by a gang of peasants, bandits, and ex-soldiers. As someone who has also had to deal with the ubiquitous fees and taxes at the expense of which the rich profited off the common people, you can't help but feel something akin to a shadow of satisfaction. However, at the same time, you are haunted by the realization that you have just looted and then burned, along with its owners, an estate belonging to people you did not know anything about until recently, and at whose hands neither you nor your friend nor your family have suffered. What exactly did you take revenge for, and why exactly was it them? Back at the camp, Duncan's men throw an epic bash in an atmosphere of universal jubilation, watching their genuine fun from the sidelines and still suffering from internal reflection. You can't think of anything better than getting drunk with everyone. But before you can do so, someone's hand comes down on your shoulder again. You don't look happy, James. We've done a great job. We've saved a lot of people. Avenged a lot of innocents. My friends, Rodolfo's parents. I didn't know about his parents. We don't have a gathering of mourners here, James, to shed tears and tell each other heartbreaking stories. Each of us end up here for different reasons, but all of them are valid enough. So what happens now, after we won? Won? Ha, don't be so naive, James. All we've done is cut off one of the Hydra's heads, yes, the most fanged and bloodthirsty one, but the beast to which it belongs is nowhere near defeated. I don't know if you've been following the news, James, but the old king went on to the next world not too long ago, and all his friends and heirs are fighting among themselves. All the nobles of the kingdom are now vying for the throne and the chance to snatch a bigger piece of the pie, which means that while they slit each other's throat, we can slit their own. The Caldwells were the first step, and that spark that burned their bloody castle down will soon ignite a giant bonfire that will engulf the entire kingdom. But wouldn't it make more sense to try to negotiate, offer assistance to one of the parties in exchange for preferences? Yes, we can hide in the woods and burn down one more, 2 more, 3 more castles, but it won't last forever. I've served in the royal army, and I've seen how powerful a king is, how many knights and soldiers he can gather under his banner. As soon as the internecine squabble is over and another ass who it would be sits firmly in the throne, we will be targeted with priority, and then no one will open the gates of the capital for a handful of florins, and Rodolfo and Jones will not, even in 100 years, raise as many men as the new king will put up against us. This system, as vicious as it is too robust to be overturned by someone like us. We will have to negotiate. This is your fear talking, James. That's why you're suggesting to submit. Bow your head, tuck your tail, and ask for forgiveness before it's too late. You're not the first person I've heard this from, and here's what I'll tell you all about it. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. The barons have the Magna Carta that guarantees them their rights. Do you know how they got it, James? They fought for it. They fought until the king became afraid, and he himself came to them with his head bowed. But the common people have no such Magna Carta, and they have is just a mug smeared with dirt from constant work which any nobleman can spit on. And he will definitely spit, just because he can, and because he knows that he will suffer no consequences for it. We have to fight, James, and we will fight for the sake of being seen as human. Your conversation with Duncan leaves you with mixed impressions, but the events of the following weeks make you look at his position differently. The destruction of the Caldwell house brings rejoicing to the surrounding peasants, who are now free from the need to pay various taxes and fees, and your entire squad turns into local heroes. Leaving the forest camp with its dugout and huts behind you, move to one of the remote villages where you set up, not without the help of grateful peasants, a much more comfortable camp. Regular earnings also appear, filling the power vacuum that occurred after the disappearance of the Caldwells. Duncan finds himself forced to take on some functions to maintain order in the neighborhood. For that, of course, your squad starts to receive small but regular sums of money. However, no one is going to stop at what has been achieved, and further plans of the squad are supposed to be discussed at the council. Chapter 6, Steel and Gold, Outskirts of Greenwich. Okay, I've never done this part. We're gonna probably save it up here. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this content. If so, please smash that like button, consider subscribing. And until the next time, all, peace.